Hello, sports fans and football fans. It's me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, and I'm coming off another good week. I was 9-5 last week. 9-5. And if the supposedly good Eagles had beaten the Dallas Cowboys, which they should have, I would have been 10-4. And probably, dare I say, should have been 10-4. But anyway, I was 9-5. And on the year, that puts me at 113-64 overall, which is a winning percentage on picks of 63.8%. Now, I want to point out, that's the best. I mean, if it stays around that area, that's the best year I've had. I have never in my life had a pick percentage over like 62% for the season. So I'm in rare form this time. And again, the same rules apply as they did to last week. I could probably only get maybe 4 games right, and I would still be over 60% because of, how well I've been doing. Of course, nobody knows that, but I am doing quite well. So we have Thanksgiving week coming up, and we have some discussion about some teams that I want to do. But let's recap what happened last week. Last week, the Thursday night game was the Texans and the Bills. And who called that the Texans would win that game? Oh, wait, it was me. Yeah, I had the Texans beating the Bills. And they did. They won 23-19 over the Bills. The Bills, you need to be worried about the Bills if you're a Bills fan. Then we come to the Sunday games. I had the Colts over the Chiefs, and that didn't happen because the Colts went like the entire fourth quarter without getting a first down. So, I mean, I don't know what happened. They were beating the Chiefs handily, and then they just fell apart. The wheels came off. The Seahawks over the Titans, I had that. The Seahawks won that game 30-24. The Packers won 23-6 over the Vikings. The Vikings were supposed to be pretty good this year. They were supposed to be. The Ravens beat the Jets, although I watched the first half of that game and I was a little worried because the Jets were kind of hanging in there. The Lions at home won against the Giants, and my Bears beat the Steelers, and I had that one. The Bears won that game 31-28. And as a good friend of mine, a Steelers fan, likes to point out, it wasn't a rout. It wasn't a stomping. It doesn't matter, though, because the Bears got the win. That's all that matters. The Bengals lost to the Patriots. Now, I had the Bengals in this game, but the Bengals only lost 26-20. And we will discuss that when we get to this week's picks. The Browns won 24-10, and I had the Browns. The Jaguars won 27-24 in overtime. And by the way, the Colts game went to overtime, and so did the Lions game. So there was 3 overtime games this week. Quite exciting if you're a football fan. And I had the Jags winning. Now the Eagles and Cowboys again. People keep talking about the Eagles. Eagles. Eagles are good. Eagles are really a good team. No, they're not. I've said it several times. How many times do I have to lose my voice saying the Eagles suck? All right, they don't suck, but they're not good. They're not a good team. They're going to lose in the playoffs if they get to the playoffs. And at this point, who knows? But if they get to the playoffs, I guarantee you they will not go to the Super Bowl. So anyway, then we had the Saints and the Falcons. I mean, that's a toss-up game. The game was 24-10 Falcons. I don't know how the Falcons pulled that out of their butts, but I mean, that's a game between two who cares teams. The Rams at home over the Buccaneers, and I had that one. And then on Monday night, for some reason, I picked the Panthers to beat the 49ers. Probably shouldn't have done that. In hindsight, that was a bad idea. I know we're getting excited about how the Panthers win some of these games that they're not supposed to win. But, I mean, every team does that. I mean, the Bears have made a career this season out of doing that. So, anyway, yeah, that resulted in me being 9-5 for the week. Now we're going to get to this week's games. And happy Thanksgiving. Did I say that before? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's watching. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm planning on having one, and we've got some friends coming over. Should be nice. But anyway, the Thanksgiving Day games, you've got the Lions and the Pack. Now, the Lions always play on Thanksgiving, and they always play at home on Thanksgiving. We are going to go in this game with the Lions. I'm taking the Lions in this one over the Packers. The Packers, again, another team that everybody talks about that isn't very good. And again, I'm not saying they're not good. They're somewhat good. But again, I guarantee you the Packers are not going to the Super Bowl. If they get to the playoffs, they aren't going to the Super Bowl. They aren't. So, I mean, how good a team can they really be if they're not going to the Super Bowl? Along with the Eagles. Them and the Eagles will be playing cards at home during the Super Bowl. All right, now we've got the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys let me down by winning last week, inexplicably. They were down 21-0 to the Eagles. I mean, I just can't get that game out of my head. They were down 21-0, and they came back and beat the good Eagles. I can't even do the quotation marks. But we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs seem to be back on their, guess what? We're a good team in the AFC, bandwagon. But who knows? They could easily lose another game. They could lose this game to Dallas. I mean, Dallas, I don't know. And now the final Thanksgiving Day game, and this one's going to surprise some people. Bengals, Ravens. I'm taking the Bengals. Burrow is expected to be back, but even if Burrow's not back, you have Flackmaster. So, and he can throw for some yards. And the Ravens offense is just sputtering. They got a good defense, but again, Burrow might be back. So Burrow has a way of beating good defenses. Now, there's one game on Friday. Guess what game that's going to be? Yeah. Who do you think I think is going to win this game? Yeah, we're going to go with the Bears. I don't even have to put it in the camera. The Bears are going to beat the Eagles. Now, you can take this one to the bank if you want to, because let me just tell you something, people. The Eagles are, again, not that good. Both teams are 8-3. They're both 8-3. And they both have flaws, and neither one is going to the Super Bowl. But if you sit there and you say to yourselves, oh, the Bears, they're not really an 8-3 team. Well, guess what? The Eagles aren't either. So now we're going to go to the Sunday games. Now, the first game on the docket we have is the Dolphins and the Saints. I am going to go reluctantly with the Dolphins. I mean, both of these teams are terrible. We'll just chuck them both over my shoulder. Even though the Dolphins should win the game, they really are not very good. So now we're going to go to the Colts and the Titans. Now, the Titans, they beat the Bills last week, and they have the number one defense in the NFL. Who out there would have guessed that? The Titans have the number one defense. But I think the Colts just have too many weapons. You got Daniel Jones. You got that running back. I forget his name. But he's great. He's great. And Daniel Jones has receivers to throw to. I think he's going to overcome the Titans because the Texans, because the one thing the Texans don't have is a good offense. And C.J. Stroud might be back this week. Even with C.J. Stroud, they're not that good. So I'm going to take the Colts in that game. Now you got the Falcons and the Jets. Now, really, The Jets, get them out of here. Anybody that plays the Jets, I'm taking. So, the Falcons, yeah, let's take them. They laid a 24 spot on the Saints last week somehow. And now we're coming to the 49ers and the Browns. And I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one. I'm not crazy. I might look like I'm crazy, but I am not crazy. I'm going to go with the 49ers to take out the Browns. And now, if you want to discuss good teams, really good, solid, great teams that are going to the Super Bowl, you're talking about the Rams. I am going to take the Rams over the Panthers. I think this one, if you had a lock of the week, this is the lock of the week. The Rams are going to beat the Panthers. Now, the Panthers have been playing some good football lately. They're not going to beat the Rams. And the Rams are going to be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl because as I'm going through these NFC teams, who's going to beat them? The Eagles? No. The Bears? No. So, yeah. Let's just do that. The next one we have is the Titans are at home and they're taking on the Jags. Now, mainly because the Titans are at home and Cam Ward seems to be catching his stride now. I'm going to go with the Titans to beat the Jags. Even though the Jags are having a good season, they're having a fairly decent season, but I'm going with the Titans on that one. You got the Cardinals and the Buccaneers, and I'm going to go with the Cardinals. We have a banged-up Baker Mayfield. Who knows if he plays? And if he doesn't play, they're done because, Bridgewater's the backup. And the Cardinals, with their backup, whoever that is, thought that was Bridgewater too. I guess the guy is like on every team. But anyway, the Cardinals, I just have a suspicion here that the Cardinals are going to somehow figure out a way to beat the Buccaneers. And again, I can take this winning percentage for a stroll because, even if I have a horrible week, I'm still going to be over 60%. Now, you got the Seahawks are at home against the Vikings. The Vikings having a terrible year. People thought they would be good. People thought they might be in the top 2 in the NFC North, but no, they're not. They're in the bottom of the NFC North, and we're going to go with the Seahawks in that one. And the Seahawks, I have mentioned in the past, are one of the what I consider elite, really good teams in the NFC. It's them and the Rams. It's just limited to 2. Them and the Rams. And, who knows if the Seahawks can maybe win out in the playoffs when they get there. But I don't know. If they ever have to run into the Rams are going to beat them. I think. They already did beat them. So, and they could do it again. You can do it again. Yeah, do it again. All right, the next one we got is the Bills and the Steelers. This one, I'm losing my breath here, and I really don't know who to pick in this one. But I'm going to go with the Bills against my better judgment. The Bills just have Josh Allen and a whole lot of nothing else. The Steelers have a good defense and a whole lot of nothing else. So, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills, the desperation they have to have. The Steelers don't seem to have any kind of desperation. Otherwise, they would have beaten the Bears. So the next one we got is the Chargers and the Raiders. Yeah, get the Raiders out of here. We're going with the Chargers in this one. The Chargers should really win that game. And I don't like the Chargers. I don't think they're that good. Whatever their record is, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, you could probably knock a win off of it for what they really are. But now we've got the Broncos and the Commanders. And the Commanders are at home, but, no. We're going to go with the Broncos in this one. Take the Broncos to beat the Commandoids. And then that brings us to Monday night. And you got the Patriots and the Giants. Yeah, who do I pick? No. We're going to get rid of the Giants. And we're talking about the Patriots in this one. I'm talking about the Patriots, lady. The Patriots look like the Patriots of old with, Tom Brady. That used to have Tom Brady. Because they did used to have him for quite many years, if you didn't hear. And he was pretty good. But, now they just found their new life under their coach Vrabel, and they're kicking ass and taking names. So those are my picks. Have I bashed the Eagles enough? Have I made you understand that the Eagles are really not a good team? And have I made you understand that the Rams are going to the Super Bowl? So anyway, now the AFC, who knows? Because the AFC is just full of a lot of mediocre teams. Like a lot of mediocre teams. So I have no idea who's going to be there for the AFC, but it's going to be the Rams for the NFC. That is going to be it for me, Sportsman Z, Bob Zolke, and I'm signing out.